What's a little martial law between friends? Governor Kathy Hochul has decided that now is the time to deploy National Guard troops down on the New York City subway systems. Of course, Mayor Adams had been asking for increased budget help from the state of New York, and the state of New York, after a train conductor's throat was slashed, that maybe the crime should be controlled a little bit. Isn't it interesting? We have a bunch of crime. We have a bunch of, we can't put people in prison. We've got a bunch of illegal immigration, all that, flood everywhere. And then all of a sudden, okay, we've got the solution. We're basically going to call martial law. So now they can require to search your bags. And if you reject that, you don't comply, they won't let you on the train. And so there's this forced complying with checkpoints now going on in the New York subway system. And funny little aside, they're now building barricades in front of the Capitol building. Something's going on here. There's this movement all of a sudden of the government and Democrat strongholds trying to protect themselves. Hochul has recently started talking about bail reforms and getting tough on crime and all of that. Mind you, it's an election year. She didn't seem to have that problem before. And now all of a sudden that New York City is turning into a hellhole. Well, of course, we've got to get tough on crime. It's funny because conservatives were saying that the whole time. And now all of a sudden, we're in an election year, things are ramping up, and they're getting out of control. And all of a sudden now the solution is, well, heavy-handed oppressive force for all citizens. And that's the play. It's not heavy-handed force for the criminals. It's a show of force for all citizens. This is what martial law looks like. This is what an oppressive state does. They put the problem before you, they create the problem, and then they give you the solution. But hey, isn't it funny that the solution just has to blanket everybody and clamp down on everybody? It's the same thing with hate laws. It's not convict a person of a crime and punish it through due course. Now it's control the speech of everybody because it might offend somebody somewhere. And that's oppression. More of this is going to happen. This is just the beginning. They're going to step out and continue these type of practices. You'll see it in other Democrat-controlled cities. You'll see as the migrant stuff gets worse because that's not going to go away. You're going to see more and more issues pop up, which creates perfect crisis in order to clamp down. And some other people are pointing out, and I kind of agree with this, you've got troops that might not fire on civilians or citizens because they know they're there to protect the citizens. But what if you just happen to have a plan of moving in a bunch of illegal immigrants into the military and then put them out on city streets? Are they going to have heart for the citizens? Are they going to step against the government that's offering them residency or citizenship for their military service? Do they come from a place where the value system is step against your government? Or is it the government will oppress you by force, so either get with it or get crushed? Something's churning in the waters and we all feel it. Now here's the moment of hope. No matter what time we live in, what day, what event is going on, the Christian can look at it as an observer. Now we get involved and we do this because we want to get involved to make the world a somewhat better place. We understand where everything's headed, but it doesn't mean we don't want to try to carve out some peace for those around us. But at the end of the day, the Christian understands we're not of this world. We're not of this earth. And we have Christ. We have our faith in him, not for protection of the temporal, but for eternal. And so I invite you, if you're not a Christian and all of this is overwhelming you and it's scaring you, then please seek Christ. Recognize you can't do it on your own. That you have disobeyed God, you have pushed against him. We all have sinned, but that Christ died for your sins. And then claim him as yours and say, I'm yours, Lord. You're in charge of my life now. I'm not. I give up myself to you. And all of a sudden, faith and peace are what can reign in your heart, even when you see all of this going on. It's not going to get better, guys. And I don't speak that from a pessimistic, black-pilled point of view. It's just, it's got to get worse before it can get better. Because people get used to things. And we've watched it across history. People get used to things. Do not get used to this. Make your voices heard on this. Stand up against it. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please by all means subscribe, hit that notification bell. And in the comments, I want you to say, do you think it's overblown to call this martial law? Do you think it's overblown to think that this is just one more step? Or do you think this is really that progression towards an authoritarian, oppressive, communist, Marxist state? Let me know. Love you guys.